the life is driven through the philosophy.
Yes.
It is not something like knowledge or something that is okay. Superficially, yes, but I think philosophy remains for major key role player in that sense.
Okay, so do you have any thought in your mind that our innovations or discoveries that have been done in the past years have a dark side to it?
Yeah, we have not identified that earlier. We have just started exploring it, and being more prone to cancer or diabetes maybe, that is affecting visually to you right now, that we are focused now, but there could be some another side of it which we have not explored yet, but could be affecting us even more in harsher way than the diabetes or cancer right now doing to us. Then we came back with all qualifications like NET qualified, GATE qualified,
Okay.
IISc qualified, TIFR qualified. We are nothing in front of nature, but we are fighting against it. We should have harmony with them, so that all those factors which are right now we are supporting, so we should encourage to our next generation to protect it, to understand it well. Power was so much that we were so weak in that sense that
Let's start with Bhagyashri ma'am.
okay.
You have extensively worked in the area of biopolymer synthesis and its application. Could you give us a brief information about what you are doing currently? And also, I would like to know about the early research phase. How was your experience and how you reached to getting PhD or reached to the admission to PhD?
Okay, so I'm Dr. Bhagyashri Watve, currently working in Meeraj, where I have my own soil water analysis laboratory. The basic factor of it is basically research, but as a researcher, I cannot withstand without any economic background. So I supplemented that with the soil water analysis, where it is making it self-sufficient basically. On the other hand, I'm working as assistant professor at Walchand College of Engineering, Sangli, where I'm there for a couple of years back. Earlier than that, I was in COEP in Pune. From there, I have started teaching to engineers basically. Otherwise, earlier I have to go into a science college where I used to teach to science, basically BSc biotechnology itself in my own department. So starting from there, you can say biotechnology is my basic interest, where I'm having interest in exploring new things which are based on biology, but technologically they should be evolved enough to give us sustainable development. So I'm an active environmentalist as well. So you can say that I'm taking care that any innovation, any research, any study, any knowledge, whichever I'm creating, should not harm to the next generation. So that is my basic baseline of my research.
And why you are going through this thought process? Any reason behind it?
Yeah, that I can connect to my childhood, I suppose. I'm from the rural area. I'm proper village part of it. Which
Name of
I
the
have
village?
is Haripur, which is a combination of rural, but as long as concerned with the distance from the Sangli, it is only 3 kilometers. So it is a part where you can say half urban, half village culture was there. But you can say that semi-urban, but it is authentically it is a village basically belonging to Gram Panchayat, and so there I have seen that.
Is not there.
No, not there yet. So you can say that transition phase. I can say that we are evident of many such kind of transactions which we have seen starting from no mobile zone, no phone zone to phone zone, then to mobile zone, and now smartwatches are there everywhere. So you can say that those transactions I have seen with little sensibly, I can say, where I can identify those kind of problems which are there, which could grow in future. So that sustainability is importance. I have feel that from my childhood, that how the things are changing, how the things are changing from the root of the Indian culture, and how they are changing now toward right now you can see those kind of buzzwords that westernization of our culture or but I as long as I understand it, we our basic tendency is sustainable. So if we can understand that well, that research should
Sustainable in terms
support.
uh, parallel to nature or in terms of
Huh.
eco-friendly.
So it is something like you should not be avoiding those advancements of your society.
Okay, so do you have
To
any thought in your mind that our innovations or discoveries that have been done in the past years have a dark side to it?
Yeah, we have not identified that earlier. We have just started exploring it and being more prone to cancer or diabetes maybe that is affecting visually to you right now, that we are focused now. But there could be some another side of it which we have not explored yet, but could be affecting us even more in harsher way than the diabetes or cancer right now doing to us. But maybe we can find a solution in our own culture, in our own nature, because I believe that India is blessed with lot of natural blessings in terms of say biodiversity, whichever is we are blessed with, which we are harming a lot, and we should be protecting it at the cost of anything. I think because whichever is supporting us right
Environment
now is,
first.
is that only, right? Otherwise it we are nothing in front of nature, but we are fighting against it. We should have harmony with them, so that all those factors which are right now we are supporting, so we should encourage to our next generation to protect it, to understand it well, and to grow in that.
So that means progress must, but environment first.
So it is like understanding is halfway there. We need to understand more than the being innovative, creating wealth out of that. We should be focusing more on to.
How was your early education?
So I'm Marathi medium, proper Marathi medium student. I'm quite comfortable in talking in Marathi even, but yeah, I can say that. Then I have understood that the importance of English, understanding of changing the scenario when you understand the English well or you can speak well. Then you can say that in the research field, basically, many of the science right now is in English. So you can say that that access is important for you. So that understandings changed my life.
So literature is more available in English compared to Marathi.
So right now it is the scenario. So you can say that many of the things are understood well if you can understand well English. So that transactions in my life, I think, changed many dimensions in my life. That
Any key moment in your life that resulted in what you are today?
Uh, yeah, there are a couple of I can say. So basically, at eighth standard, I think there was a lecture from, of course, our alumni. I was in LGR Purohit Kanya Prashala at Sangli. So you can say there was a lecture from our alumnus itself. She was telling us that you have to be at the front to understand the changing scenario. So we used to read a lot at that time, but the reading was of different type. So we used to use that all that mythological books, or you can say all those classic Marathi novels and all. At that time I understood that we need to change our track little bit, and we have to shift our gear of life to the next level, where we can understand what is science exactly.
Are you talking about that books Champak and all?
uh, no, not exactly. So Champak, yeah, I think in that also there were some
Yeah,
sections
stories,
where
small stories.
were there, and those sort of sci-fi
Uh,
fantastic stories were
Means
there.
I
But
come from
so
a era where Shaktiman was there.
yeah, yeah, that's true. In that also, you can remember that plastic
Sunday,
monster was
Sunday
there,
12
right?
o'clock.
Yeah, Saturday was there, right?
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. So we
Junior
used to
G was
rush.
there, Areman was
Ha
there.
ha. And there were many concepts of that, like drawing something and taking realistic. What was
In
that?
Shaktiman's era, they have showed plastic as a
Ha,
pollution.
as a monster.
In that
That
area, as a
yes,
monster.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. That I remember quite you can say that relevance,
And
whoever
even
was
in that
visionary
era,
person was
Shaktiman
there.
is saying
Yes,
that electricity one day it's going to be vanished. Please
that
save
too.
it.
And I was very wondered. Now I can understand that the value of seven chakras. You
Yes, yes,
remember
yes.
that
Activation of seven
activation
chakras.
of that energizing those
Ah,
all of
from
them.
spinal
And
cord.
so in that title song itself, I think
Yeah.
कहलाया वो शक्तिमान जो सबको something like that, right? So I think that is having the essence what we have lost in middle years. So maybe we can track back to that era where we used to really understand what was the science, right? So it is not exactly like what we are doing right now in the laboratories. It is something like correlated with the nature, to understanding it and to utilizing that technology which is available over there, right? So right now you are making solar panels and all, but leaves are exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
So you can say that it is there to teach you from the beginning. You were not ready to take it in.
It's like
So
a
maybe
circle of life.
yeah, so we are going back to that, and I strongly insist every of my student to take a note of that
So
don't
you
make
attended a lecture. What
uh,
was that lecture?
oh, that one was about so quantum physics, quantum biology
Okay, in
was the
8th
relation.
standard.
No, not that one. Okay, so in that lecture she was like, be at the front. In that sense, you need to read a lot which is right now changing. Whichever things are there from the tradition will not change anyway, so you can read it, no doubt, but you have to be at front where you should be reading whichever recent trends are going on, so that you can understand well where your liking can fit in, right? So you can, after 10th you have to select whether you are going for science background, or most of the time it is decided by society, or you can say your marks will decide it.
Okay.
But in that sense she was suggesting us to not to insist much about science, taking science all the time, even if you are getting 80% 90% marks at that point. But you can still have a great working mind in commerce side, or great working mind in art side, so you can consider that as well. So we all, our peer were discussing the same, that whichever our marks may suggest, we will find our own way, and we will that one was our dream, that we will be pursuing PhD for sure. And
Okay, in
so in 8th standard, I clearly remember
okay.
that our group was um, we were in a reading competition all the time, that we were thinking of that how the era is changing, how we should mold ourselves to compete in. So yes, I think that is the fundamental change in my life, where we started thinking like that. And then onwards, I think my vision was clear. Maybe path I had changed a lot.
What was your vision?
Taking the deeper knowledge of whichever subject I can choose. So doing PhD was the dream for me. So maybe uh, being doctor was my aim, but at that
MBBS.
time, it was not possible economically due to my family backgrounds. But you can say that it was known to me, so I need not to struggle with that sense. So I just found out my way to be a doctor at the point. Maybe after doctor, even I could have pursued same path to complete my PhD in that sense
Okay.
as well.
Acha.
But
So you
yes,
wanted to be a philosopher.
yeah, that is the main thing. I think the life is driven through the philosophy. It
Yes.
is not something like knowledge or something that is okay. Superficially, yes, but I think philosophy remains for major key role player in
Mm.
that sense. So philosophy is so even for
So
doing
what happened
PhD.
after 10th?
So after 10th, it was the same. Actually, I understood well in 10th itself that I am good in biology, not in mathematics. Basically, my sister and brother, both of them are very good at mathematics. I was not so. So I understood that I should be exploring some things in the biology. So in biology, understanding the importance of mathematics due to both of them, I think I chose the biotechnology field, where at that time it was mandatory to have PCMB group. Both mathematics and biology was mandatory at that time. So
So
in that,
You are standard group, PCM.
you were
PCMB
aware
group,
of biotechnology in the 12th standard.
uh, 10th.
10th.
That's why I chose the PCMB group. And 11th, I was struggling a lot with the mathematics, and I was thinking of if in 12th I have to keep the mathematics, I have to struggle, whatever struggle I have to make, I have to make in 11th. So usually you must be knowing that 11th is basics of 12th, and if you can qualify the 11th, you can easily go through the 12th as well. So I was thinking like, okay, fine, I will struggle at 11th, because at that time I shifted to semi English. At that time science and mathematics was in English, but Bhugol was there, which was in Marathi.
You are shifted to same English.
Semi English. That one shock was there, persisting, and you can say then I shifted to taking those subjects which were important for me. So struggling with mathematics, struggling with the English at the same pace. So you can say that one was a hard period for me. But finally, I chose science only. But after 12th, I was knowing that from science you can go back to arts, but from once you will choose the arts, you cannot go back to science. That one was my I think
Safe game.
understanding at yeah, that's true. Then I just okay, I qualified with the good marks in the 12th, but I was knowing that MBBS is not possible for me, so I
Okay.
just went into BSc
Why
biotechnology.
you have to become a doctor?
So that is the same thing, right? That whichever subject could be, the basic knowledge, basic logic will remain the same. So you can understand, like after engineering also you can do the PhD. After MBBS also you can do the PhD. After BSc, MSc, BA, MA, you can do the PhD again, right? So that is PhD is something, is learning about that logic of life, which will remain same in all the streams of life. So that is the amazing thing what we have found in our school eras, where we used to discuss in that sense that why is it so that we need to understand this mystery of life and something like that. But that one was the thing that I think everybody should understand well. Every researcher is well aware about the struggle wherever they are going through the PhD.
Yes.
So that same sort of struggle, why is it common to all the researchers, right? So whichever subject you are choosing, whichever path you are choosing, you are still struggling with the same things, like how to come up with the conclusions, right? So how to get those results, how to meet with your expectations, and that logic will remain the same. So once you will identify that jud so you will get to know that what is PhD exactly.
Okay. What happened after 12th?
So after 12th, I could easily cross the barrier of getting entrance into. So at that time, there was a merit list for biotech as well.
Okay.
So for biotech, I was qualified. I got
And
the
where it was happening?
in Willingdon College, Sangli.
Okay.
So there was applied field where
A
aligned
bachelor
to.
degree in science.
So where biotechnology was allied subject. So you can have those chemistry, microbiology along with that.
Any
Botany.
specific reason behind choosing Wellington as a college for biotechnology?
Yeah, I was having two options basically. In KWC, there was a integral biotechnology.
What is integral?
So that is a wholesome biotechnology field where you are not having those aligned subjects like chemistry or botany. They are
Okay.
only sticking towards biotechnology, purely biotechnology. Maybe they will have the biochemistry subject, biophysics subject,
Okay.
but not the physics or chemistry. So it was the basic difference in that. But I prefer over that
Any difference in
because
the fees?
yeah, maybe not much, I suppose, because in at basic degree of BSc there was not much burden on our families for doing the BSc.
So you chose based on that
So
Wellington.
on the basis of this basic understanding of having basic knowledge of, so it is always different to learn the chemistry from the chemist.
Along with physics, chemistry, you have taken
Biotechnology is one of the
subject.
right.
So specialization comes at BSc
Third year only.
Third year.
Yes. So I learned only 8 papers.
You are decided at first year or third year.
No, it was mandatory for us only for biotechnologists that you have to continue in the biotechnology itself.
So my basic question is that instead of going to the physics and chemistry and biotechnology, why you are not supposed to go for integrated biotechnology? Because they are exclusively giving the more knowledge regarding the biotechnology.
So that one was my perception. Still don't know whether it was correct or
She
not.
comes from a family of mathematicians. So
Yeah.
fundamentals are there.
So, yeah, I mean
Because
that expertise
if
matters.
she said that
Huh.
first year only,
She has
so
a nice exposure in her journey.
Huh,
So
huh.
she is like the decision that she is taking. He is having 80% of her, but still again a surrounding is there which is motivating her.
Huh. To
And
keep
again,
going.
family having mathematicians, it
So,
means that yeah.
no, no,
your theorems has to be very clear in that sense.
but even though
No, it is, yeah, exactly. I mean, I discussed at home accordingly, that these two options are there with me for biotechnology. So my sister was like, okay, so it is always, it will be a different, that a chemist is teaching you chemistry, a physicist is teaching you physics, is always different than biophysics is taught by.
Okay,
But
sir.
but even though, what is my opinion? If you decide at first year only,
Huh.
so if you are choosing final year as a biotechnology, that means
That I am confining it to the biotechnology only.
Oh, you should be happy, na?
no, no.
She is studying your field.
Yeah, yeah.
She is
I,
studying your core
I,
field.
apart from that, I am too much happy regarding her opinion. But no,
Even having the thought process.
biotechnology, if she decided after passing second year BSc, then it's okay because I have option of taking physics, then chemistry and biotechnology. And if she then decide, okay, I want to go for biotechnology, then decision at level after passing the second year level. But if she is taking decision yet after 12, that means her aim is focused.
Yeah, yeah. So
But
even me, I
having a
just,
thought process of understanding the fundamentals,
huh.
it is again a key point.
And
That she had a
I think
consciousness regarding the fundamentals.
all of us, we feel the same, like whichever teacher teaches you makes you the subject like or dislike.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is
That's
the
true.
difference. So
That's
if
true.
you are, borrowed physics
Yes.
by the biologist and teaching it is
You
different.
have
I 100% agree.
So it is differently
you have received
always.
so much of respect from her
Yeah.
for your branch.
The impact of teacher is very important.
Very
She
important.
differentiated well between biochemistry and the chemistry, and so
Huh.
she dominated chemistry.
That is right. That at at learning phase, you should be teaching at the basic level,
The way
and
you
then you
teach,
can
a
build
biochemist can't ask
afterwards. If
like
the
that.
once the logics are clear for you, then you can build on your own. That the wider area you can grasp on.
Yes.
So that is what I compared the syllabus literally, like in
It's
so
a
and so.
proud moment.
Basic
Proud
science.
moment.
Basic science fundamentals
Okay,
has to be clear.
so we will go ahead with BSc.
BSc,
Then, how was
yes,
your exposure in the Wellington College? Again, it is a cultural college having a
yes, yes,
history,
yes, yes.
history in the back. So, how was it?
Yeah, it was good. Our department was quite new, so you can say that that is the advantage maybe, that our department was new. That's why our alumni was quite strong and we were very connected to us. So we were like getting the information from them very frequently, and
So your seniors help you.
a lot, a lot. So even knowing the net set, about net set at the BSc level was the advanced thing, because many of our at the level of chemistry or physics at BSc level, they were not knowing the after MSc what they are going to do. Right. So many of the students were like that, but we were lucky, fortunate that the those seniors were helping us so much that what is the scope in the future, I could see that easily, that what we can do exactly, what sort of jobs could be there, what sort of research could be there, what sort of
BSc biotechnology. What are the opportunities?
opportunities are open for us. And even we have seen many of the our seniors were leaving the biotechnology just because of money, or those constraints were always will be there, that satisfied job, amount of salary will not be enough for you as per your requirements maybe. But yes, that is another opportunity, that where we can learn about what much we can expect from. So afterwards, even I never expected much
So,
from the
what you
field.
did after BSc?
After BSc, it was like chosen path of MSc routine,
Again, MSc biotechnology.
MSc
Where?
biotechnology. So in the university, Shivaji University, Kolhapur.
Okay.
So our whole batch almost like transferred to MSc. So
Okay.
All will Indians.
all will Indonians. So we qualified everyone, but four of them left to their native places, and but many of us were together.
But from that, all are selected.
All were. I mean, our batch was selected at the BSc level itself, so that merit list worked for us. And in MSc also, that work culture we maintained.
So the entrance examination is same or it is different for biotechnology?
No, it was common for biotechnology, microbiology, environmental science, environmental biotechnology.
Basically,
HM,
lab science.
usually,
Horizontal mobility.
horizontal mobility was there. So entrance was common for that. But yes, we could qualify, and most of us were able to retain the biotechnology for MSc. The other option was available was biochemistry.
So why you not choose biochemistry?
Okay, I think that one was reverse gear for me. After doing biotechnology, doing biochemistry will be, you can say, little basics. I was already BSc in biotechnology, which is applied field. So coming back to
Technology
chemistry,
prepares.
so was not point for me to go back to the basics again. So I qualified for that. Then it was easy for me to choose
How
the
was your experience
biotechnology.
with Shivaji University?
It was good. Maybe not because um, the work culture regarding that, but maybe because resources were ample amount available over there. uh, I was expecting even better, but maybe BSc
What was
we
your
were
project during MSc?
in MSc I was working on gomutra, so toxic effects or cytotoxicity of gomutra, concentrated and diluted, where our understanding
Cytotoxic effects
about
on plant.
cytotoxic effect of gomutra
On
on plants. So we were chosen with the onions, on
onion
onion
tips,
root
tip
tips.
cells,
Right, right.
meristematic cells.
Yes, yes, yes. So on that concentrated cow urine, how it prohibits growth, and then if you are using it in the diluted form, how it enhances all of a sudden. So that one we could found out some references regarding that as well, and we can see all those aberrations, chromosomal aberrations, which are there in that
So
on those
aberrations were there.
were there. Yes, yes. So those were, I think they were reported, no doubt, but at MSc level, identifying those, and that one was making us.
Effect of concentration.
Yeah, yeah, that matters a lot, I think. And that too is like we were thinking of going ahead even. We were having lyophilizer, so we were thinking of making lyophilized powder of cow urine, so that you can accurately identify what are the components of
Was
it.
it available there?
It was available, but not for MSc students. So it
For the
was like
research
for
scholars.
research scholars only. So that one was, you can say, our disappointment point of
Okay.
there, that we could have done that, because we were having enough time to do that. So we were happy to give those insights, but maybe advancements were missing in that sense.
Okay,
Yes,
then
that's it. Then we were on the track of qualifying the net, and of course we were targeting the JRF only. We were not looking at LS even.
so
So
you
we were
decided to do PhD after that.
yes, yes, yes. So that one was pre-decided only, that we have to go for net set examination. Qualifying JRF is the only option. Again, the same thing. Economically, we cannot sustain without any fellowship or something like that. So we were again, the group were there. Which one was we
Your
used to
group is
study.
giving me a gangster vibe.
Yes.
Your all activities are in group.
Yeah, I mean, friendship is my strength, I suppose. Many of us were like,
Teamwork always works.
always works. It gives you additive advantages all the time, that you will be like, even if you are weaker at a point, they will give you the strength to come back to overcome those
If you have weaker, you have to friend with those who are into stronger in that subject.
yes, yes, yes. That discussions helps us
So
a
your
lot.
group decided, your group was
Yes,
intended
yes,
to
yes.
do PhD.
Yes, yes, yes.
So how many students that
In our group, we were 8. eight girls were there. So we used to, read a lot. Leninger, Stryer. We
Oh,
used to get those standard copies
Lehringers
from
and all
you read
Mahalakshmi.
Lehringers and all
Yes,
these are biochemistry books.
ha. But you can say that for qualifying NET examination, Leninger is enough, good enough. That logic sets you a lot. I mean, I remember clearly Gurav sir, you know,
TT.
so he used to tell us that you read Leninger with the questionnaire given after the chapter, each chapter, and you will get to know that what
But Guru
logic
sir was
people.
connected with Stryer, no?
Yeah. So for
And Arvindekar ma'am
structurally,
connected with
Arvind with
Leninger.
the yes. But he used to say that questionnaire is important for you people to understand the logic by which actually NET examination examiners maybe will be setting the questions for you.
Okay.
So that logic will remain the same. So we were like
And that was the
understanding that.
advantage of having HM.
Yeah, true that. So Arvindekar madam was classic. She used to, hearing her English, I think we have aspired to speak in English
Okay.
a lot. So she was good in that sense. Gurav sir. Hi, as I told you that teachers inspires you a lot. Your favorite subjects are said with that. So always it is like I was blessed not only with the friends, with also the teachers which inspired us a lot. Even in at a BSc level, we were having few teachers which were just passed out with the MSc. They come to teach us at BSc level, but still they were so energetic and so inspiring to us all the time to get the exposure of new fields and those trainings or all those because at that time money was the major concern. So you can say that they were ready to pay us out of their so much of less salary. Even they were ready to, but of course we could not end up with the taking money from them at least. But yes, we were
But they
blessed
are
with the
ready
good
to pay.
teachers. Yes. And that one was the blessing, that we always keep ourselves inspired and keep going at the down times.
In your group, how many students cleared the Arab exam?
uh, four of us qualified in yes. And one of my friend was like she was AIR with the 8th position. So yes. So she was that one fellowship extra continue with extra Shama Prasad Mukherjee. She was eligible for that, I suppose. So it was like the journey was beautiful. So we were like discussing a lot at mess time. Even after mess, after having our dinner, we used to discuss. At
So
daytime, we used to.
when you cracked the NET JRF exam,
Okay, so I qualified in 11 12 11 2011 12 was my second year of MSc, and I qualified in 13.
okay, and meanwhile
So
time what you did?
I was doing job
Where?
in plant tissue culture lab
Okay.
in Talegaon, Pune. So at that time, Dabhade. Kala Biotech was the company. And again, the same thing, the whole bunch of MSc went there for doing the
And
culturing thing.
what were your job responsibilities?
There we used to culture, that's it. So just
Okay.
cutting out the callus, taking out the knobs and putting it in the set of
Simultaneously, you
three.
are preparing for NET
So
JRF.
our aim was to prepare for NET examination, and meanwhile supporting our day-to-day life. No, family supporting was not possible. Even we were used to pay like 4,000, 8,000 or something like that much only. So it was sufficient for ourselves only. But it was like we are self-sufficient, so we can learn. That's it. So we were studying after the job. Then we used to take a competition in between ourselves only. So then we can. So we shifted from there to. So at that particular attempt, we were qualified with the LS, but our aim was JRF. I
We were means
clearly
your group.
three of us left after 5 months of rigorous training at that point. Then three of us were striving to have next version of it. So we went to Jodhpur afterwards
Forward.
for training of so coaching basically of JRF.
Okay.
Then
So you are taking special coaching.
coaching for that. So whichever money we have collected from the job, we did not qualified anyway. So we were frustrated. So how is it possible that we are not getting qualified after so much of efforts? So we could in life sciences, basically we found out that
So you wanted a
13.
strong comeback.
Exactly. That too with the understanding, basic understanding increased at the level at least where we can understand.
In Maharashtra, such type of facility is not available.
No, I don't think so. Right now it is there in Pune, but at that time it was there in Hyderabad and Jodhpur. So both the places were famous for the coaching of life sciences, basically. Then we chose to go to Jodhpur. 5 months training was there. There itself we gave our examination at Udaipur. Then we came back with all qualifications like NET qualified, GATE qualified,
Okay.
IISc qualified, TIFR qualified, whichever
Okay.
examinations we gave, just because that again the same thing. That teacher was there. He was so brilliant that he could analyze the patterns very easily. He just taught us with the approach of how the life sciences look by the examiners. So you can
Can you
see
give
that
an
is
example?
okay. For example, for immunity, you can say that how the questions will be framed, right? So you can say that
So they have a particular pattern.
exactly. So he could identify that. So he could elaborate that for us.
Give me
That
that
is
example.
for immunology, for example, how they will ask the question on antibodies, or so making those genes, how it works, that process, that pathway, the flow chart was there. He used to give us that. You do this, you will get the answer for every related question of immunological, antibody formation,
Okay.
how it is getting trained, how it is T cells, B cells, how thymus is processing it, how the training is given to them, how the self immune cells are removed from it. So that path you need to logically get cleared. Once it is cleared, any sort of, especially C type of questions, they are based on logic, basically.
C
They are
means
not
part C.
part C. So they are not like straight away questions, informative. No, it is like logically how it will go like this. For example, say RDT. So that is also
What is
he was
RDT?
recombinant DNA technology.
Okay.
For that also he used to tell us that you have to read this
So
in a
part
way.
C is logical. And what about
Logical.
part A and B?
Part A is your
General science.
general studies, and
And
that
B?
B was discrete questions of that, and C was informative question, logical
D is
questions.
there?
No, D is not there.
Only ABC.
C logical and some actual sections. Some questions which is based on creative or imaginary.
So it is like you should be knowing that particular process thoroughly. That then only you will be able to answer that, because it never be like A B C D only like that.
Okay.
It will be like combinations of 1, 2, 3, and the ABC will be combination of true of them. So false of them. So you have to so you have to double, exactly. So double logic need to be generated in that sense. But technically it was like um, we we knew that at
Okay,
that
okay.
by that time. Then it was easy
Then
for us to get
you
qualified.
now cracked the net JRF.
Net
Okay,
JRF,
and now
yes.
it is like having a comeback,
Yes.
having a kind of you know powerful things in your hand. Now,
Yes,
what
yes.
you did after that?
So actually, no, struggle
It's like
didn't
having Brahm.
ended there, I
It's like
suppose.
having Brahmastra in your hand. Now let's use it.
And that too is we were failing each time that using in that Brahmastra even.
Why? Because you're not able to handle it.
Exactly, that power was
The
so
power,
much that
so much power
we were
was
so
there.
weak in that sense that at that point we were like
I have
guru,
power, but I don't
another
know how
guru
to
is
use it.
needed.
Right astray from wrong person.
No, no, no. Right person in a right hand, but still do not know how to use it.
That that mindset. So I usually tell the students, my students, that you at each point you have to change your mindset. It is not
Okay.
about the knowledge, it is
And
about the
how it
mindset.
connects with your logic?
So it is something like, okay, you are qualifying MSc with the distinction even, but you may not be able to crack the JRF. Okay,
Okay.
so that is because the tendency of attempting those questions is altogether different. That we learned in the Jodhpur exactly. That knowledge I was having, but
So you
it
received
was
a technical things regarding that.
regarding that what is needed to done
Okay, okay.
for the qualifying that particular.
Actually, hard work is not sufficient.
Huh.
We have to use hard work with smart work.
Exactly.
It works.
So those
Kind of
fundas,
tactics. Tactics.
those fundas were very important at that point.
Some framework is there.
Huh.
You have to, most of the times you have to go for that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So at that
And time binding
time,
exam pattern is there, and in that you have to attempt all the questions. So logically it looks like simple, but those students who appear it, they came to know that they know all the answers. But if we given twice the time, then only they can attempt.
exactly for especially
If you
for
want to give any
part C.
suggestion to youngsters who are going to attempt the NET JRF exam, in only one suggestion, what it
Okay.
would be?
Knowing what to do is okay. Knowing what not to do is important.
Okay.
So
That was that.
Right. So in life science, especially, if you will see, there are 13 units.
It was a crazy suggestion. At last.
elimination method is important.
Hi, exactly. That is very important. I never learned the 100% of that syllabus, right? So you cannot. Practically, you cannot. Because at the time of you learn about 13th unit, you will be forgetting the first unit altogether, right? So you need
Okay, okay,
to
okay.
sort it out like that, whichever things are important.
So you have to make folders in your mind
Yes,
that
yes.
if
For
for this
B,
time I have to use this folder, for this
that
time.
too is like we were trained to do those kind of things where those 8 units for group B, group C,
Okay.
you are
A
supposed
proper
to do
distribution
only,
is there.
yes, only 4 units.
Proper framework is there.
So those suggestions were very good. Those suggestions were very, transforming us, that we used to learn all, each and everything, each and every. No, not necessary. You are supposed to sort it out, and you are rejecting whichever is not your strength, focusing only on your strengths, whichever are there, and shuffling with that. That is okay. You go into deep for all those 4 sections and get all the knowledge, possible knowledge in that sense. That is, then the time is enough for you to learn the things as well and solve the questions as well. So for both the things it was very important for
Okay.
us. But
So
again, this changing the gear for qualifying JRF is different, and getting cracked with
getting
the
admission to
interview,
PhD.
that is different.
So I would
So
like to know your process of getting admission.
we were like, me and my friend, both of us were qualified. She
Again,
was
gangster
having
vibe. Okay. Okay.
so she was with the higher rank and I was with the 42. So we were like, okay, ab to hona hi chahiye. So we were confident about it. But it was like we are supposed to give the choices for us, that CCMB is the first, ISER was the second, ISER Pune was the second, NCCS belonging to our
Okay.
territory and strengths. We were giving the choices, rejected every time. So we were surprised. Interview was so good. We were answering so good. We were not knowing the technique of how to crack the interview, right? We were frustrated at that time as well. So again, the Brahmaster felt over there. So we were getting the information how to crack the interviews then. So we struggled a lot. We got the information. We talked many people. So again, the seniors played important role for us. That
Okay.
whoever were cracking those kind of um, that one was the rare case.
So your senior, what they are giving mantra?
uh, so is the thing, what your friend was giving, like you have to mail them ahead, well before
Okay.
you have to mail them
So earlier
that
you
technique.
weren't the part of that system where you
No,
are
no, we
mailing to
were not
someone.
knowing. Many of us right now even are not knowing that this is the method of how it should work.
Okay, I also don't know about it.
That is because we are not trained for it, right? So you are not knowing that how to crack the JRF.
And why is
Then
it so you
so
have to meet the
so
supervisor?
it is like being
If you are
proactive.
cracking their exam, if
Uh-huh.
you are going and you're giving an interview, very strong
So you
interview,
can say that there is always a difference of say mark or a two in all of them.
just because not having communication,
That's it.
having a rejection, I don't
So
think
you
it's
can say that sort of knowledge is restricted. All of you are around at the same type of intelligence at that time. So afterwards, it doesn't matter that what is your AIR.
Is it because guide wants a surety from a student
That too,
that because
and
they're
it
having a
again
long
shows
journey
the
for 5 years,
proactiveness,
7 years,
right?
so they want to be assured that this
Yes, yes.
boy or girl will work for me.
More enthusiastic, more proactive,
Okay.
more aware
So
of the
first interaction
methodology.
is mandatory in that
Is
case.
mandatory in the sense you can say that it is
It
taken
can,
as
it can act as a
advantage.
catalyst.
Yes, yes, yes. So if a person is made before the interview itself, so you can say that you are very prone to get that person only.
Yeah.
So it appeared to be there are many vacancies,
Yeah.
but it was not. There was a case that it is like many of the settlements were done earlier, and the actual vacancy is much lesser than what you are looking at, right? So it was like earlier it was fixed that
So
this
you use
guy.
this strategy?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, we come to know afterwards that it worked like that.
Okay.
So whichever minimum vacancies were actually was working there, where we get settled into that. So I qualified in NCL. My friend qualified in Chandigarh. So she shifted over there, and I was here only in Pune. And afterwards we came to know that my batchmates were already having a conversation with their guides. So I came to know
Okay.
that
So
it
you
was
came
only
to
me.
know that later on.
And even I was struggling with afterwards even whom to choose, right? So on the basis of what, or it is quite
Okay.
random process at that time, because already whichever interesting fields were there were occupied by those kind of students which were already in the communication, right? Somehow it was like nobody biotechnologist was interested in polymers. That's why I could get into that flow. And of course it was my interest. So at that time two vacancies were there. I was open to have those two scientists. Which one? First one was working in the molecular biology. Another one was cell biology or molecular biology, combination of both. And one was the polymer science. So again, I was struggling with the to go for basic biology or to go for
Do you have that
application.
thought? Sometimes when I approach somewhere, I have lesser percentage I approach as compared to you. I haven't cracked any exam. It excites me when someone says that I have cracked it. I feel like they are having Brahmastra. I feel like I don't have. So, uh, whenever I think about going for an interview, I do not go for reference. There is a reason from my side. It downs my performance.
Yeah, true
When
that.
I subconsciously provide information that I have a reference, it maybe subconsciously somewhere downs my proper
True, true,
performance
very
in a
true.
10, 20, 30% ratio. I do not give my 100% that I wanted to.
And
And it
even I
also
can.
adds some amount of fear to me because I know that person.
Yeah.
And again, that adds a kind of judgment to me. If I'm meeting a person who are strangers, I can have a lot of conversation with them,
True, true.
just like right now I'm having. But if I know you, I know about your background and something like that, for a period of multiple conversations, I may feel like somewhere I'm getting judged by someone, and
True.
that downs my somewhere performance. Do you have thought kind of, because you denied the strategy and again you part of an interview and
So
maybe destiny played a role?
it was like that. That destiny played a role, but I think it was like knowing well ahead to which you are interested
Yes.
is a good strategy in that
Yeah.
sense. Because but I can proudly say that it was unaffected when I got
Yeah,
chosen.
because the mindset right now you are having that
Huh.
no reference is there. I
Huh.
went to interview,
Yes,
cracked the
yes,
interview,
yes,
and
yes,
now I have
yes,
received which
yes, yes.
that that
And that
that
too is
feels
even that boosts your confidence at
boosts
the
your
end. So
confidence.
that too is like so I didn't qualify the maybe in the CCMB in
There is no
first.
favor, no?
Huh, of course not.
So it
So
adds
it
some
is
aura to it.
yeah, I don't think so. It is a favor sort of thing. Just it is being a proactive. That's it.
Being
So
a proactive,
that is
that can
that
be.
is
Right now, today, what you are thinking, whether the system is good or not. That they
no,
are
it is good.
interacting with the students
No,
before
it is
prior to
good.
selecting.
It is good because of course you need to know because it is not a formal channel
Even
to
it is
go
good
through.
for student also to know about guide.
So they should be.
That's why
They also
what
get the exposure.
so what they set the system that let the guide know the student and student know the guide.
Well ahead in time.
It has a certain advantage.
So it is not mandatory for guide to take the person in the interview. If subordinary performance will be there, he will not pick him up, right? So that is the liberty guide will always have in that sense, that somebody is, maybe it
So the
happened
interview
like
that
that
you
with me
cracked
as well.
had many guides right
Yes,
over
yes.
there, or
There is a panel usually with
and
the
one of them is going to be
7 to
selected.
9. Most of the time it is like whoever will have the vacancies with their lab will project it earlier,
They
and
all
they
will
will
be
be in a
part of the
panel.
panel.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is like all of them more or less like in shifts. Usually they will work like, and they will take the interview of whatever people they are taking in. So maybe I got the opportunity. Maybe it was like some students were there who were interacting with the guides earlier, but was not able to crack the interview as per their guides expectation. Maybe because of that we could have those vacancies created over them, maybe like that. So that's why, as I said, that it boosts my confidence that I have cracked
Yeah.
in that sense
So
as
you
well.
cracked the interview.
Yes.
Now, how was your interaction with guide for the first time?
So as I told you, I was confused a bit with the core biology and the interdisciplinary with the polymer sciences. My BSc project was production of PHB itself. So was the same polymer. I
What
got
is
to know
PHB?
polyhydroxybutyrate. So although I worked after in copolymer, butyrate covalerate, but it was the basic polymer, biopolymer, which was produced by the
So your guide
bacteria.
was working on polymers.
Ha, ha, ha. So she was in the polymer, not synthesis part of it, application orientation basically.
Then who
So
synthesizes polymers?
we used to get it ready made.
Okay.
So that is coming from some London.
Is
And
there any kind of modification your lab used
no.
to perform?
In PHB, no.
Directly used to application?
Many polymers we used to modify in our laboratory. So many
Combination of
synthesis,
different
yes, yes,
polymers
yes.
like that.
Synthesis procedures were common in our labs. I was not into it because I was a biotechnologist, basically not the chemist, because it is really very difficult. I understood very well because the processes were going on all around with me. But you can say that I can do that now. But at that time, I was not preferring to synthesize the polymers rather than to have it ready-made. Many of us used to work on the ready-made polymers as well. But in that sense, I think yes, my work was more of applications oriented towards biotechnology. So those polymers I used to coat the stains and sutures, those you can say metallic or something else, which parts we are putting into our
Implant.
bodies, implants, right? So those implants are basically having some issues uh, through our immune system. So we need to tackle it
Yeah, implant
over the,
rejection.
yes. So that rejection,
That immune system generated rejection.
yes, yes, yes. So we need to fool the immune system
Yeah.
that they should accept
Right
our
now there are
material.
so many rejections are
Yes,
happening
yes, yes.
regarding the implants.
Yes, yes.
Silicon implants basically.
Silicon implants or even many polymers are kind of
After two
toxic to
years, after
use.
3 years, there is
Yes,
infection and there is
infections
removal
and
of implants.
fibrosis is there, capsule
Fibrosis.
making is there. So all those problems are related to that. So we were into material designing, basically
Okay.
combination of such kind of polymers
How was your
which
first
can
meeting
solve.
with your guide?
Uh, okay, so it was uh, she was not knowing biology. I was not knowing polymer. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So we
she's
were,
purely polymers.
she was in the pure polymer chemistry, into that synthesis part of it, and somehow she got the one project which were having the implant coating as a part of it.
Her expertise is polymers and
Huh, huh.
your expertise
In
in biotechnology.
biotechnology. So she needed one person who is knowing the biology better.
Applied.
Huh. So she interviewed after that even to confirm my admission in her lab. That regarding biology, how much knowledge I have, regarding immunology, how much knowledge
How
I
was it?
have. So I think it went well, or else you can say that she was not having any other option rather than
Okay,
having
okay,
me.
okay.
Maybe
So
because of
nobody is
that she.
interested.
So it was quite different, altogether different fields.
Yes.
So in even completing my coursework, I used to get those kind of problems that mandatory courses from polymer sciences I used to get that. From biotechnology, I have to get that. So all those mandatory courses, I earned lot many credits because of that. And even many people get surprised that how many credits you are taking that. But it is mandatory for this and that, then I
Okay.
have to take it
Then
anyway.
how journey started regarding the
So we
PhD?
collaboratively worked like that. So we collected the
Collaboratively
information.
means
So
lab
it was
connections or institute connections?
so in lab also we were having a group of 3 scientists altogether. So many of them were
Is there any difference working in a national institute and working in a different universities?
much difference was there. So
Okay,
we have
can you
seen
give
the
me few
university.
few remarks over there that what type of uh, differences you observed while working there?
Okay, so basic work culture was too different regarding the, I can say the, okay, so those scientists are quite qualified and quite having higher positions in reputation in all over world, you can say.
Okay,
But still they were so humble and down to earth that they used to consider us as a colleagues only. So they treat us like
for example.
equal. So as I told you, Badiger sir was one of the finest scientists for the hydrogels. He used to work in a polymers where he was having the contribution in BrahMos. So you can imagine the level of scientist he was. He used to greet us like even at colleges we don't used to greet like people in our
So
subordinates like that.
he was
So
there
he
while you
was,
were working.
yes. So he was our group leader, and under his senior scientistship, uh, he was having 2 junior scientists, one of which is my guide.
Okay,
So he was like us, our
what is
grandfather.
the name of your guy?
GVN Ratna.
Okay,
So she was from Andhra basically, and Badigar sir was from Karnataka, and he was the first student of Dr. Mashelkar, Raghunath Mashelkar. And
okay.
Mashelkar sir's lab was quite near to us, like his office was there. And as I told you that I was fortunate to have the inspirations always with me. So he used to work
You
after
used to
dinner
have a
also.
chat with him
Yeah, regularly. And
regularly,
yes. So we,
and
as
where it is in the lab or outside lab?
outside the lab, of course,
Okay,
we
doing
used
tea
to have
sessions and all.
the coffee time basically.
Okay,
We were
table
having
member.
it
Okay,
was a large group, you see.
okay.
Mashelkar sir used to have many students, many sub students
What was
again.
the
So
conversation they used to have with
in
you?
many aspects we used to talk at that particular time when we were very early phase. We were not imagining ourselves working with him or working besides him. He was very keen about it. So he was knowing everyone's field of work, everyone's
Okay,
name, everyone's
even though you are
interest.
new there,
Ha.
still he is
He
knowing
was
about you.
knowing all the things. Even Badigar sir used to report him. You can say that these many students we have entered in
Okay,
our lab, and he was quite busy. He got the Padma Shri at that
and it is
particular
in
time
CSR
only.
NCL.
CSR NCL. So ACSR's
Badiga sir
chancellor,
received Padma Shri.
no,
Mashelkar sir.
Mashelkar sir. So at that time only, you can say that he was too busy. He was
Too
I
busy
think
where?
because ACSR is just now was formed, and he
Huh?
was the chancellor. So
Okay,
he used to manage so many things at the time. Although the director was different, but NCL is mean to directed by him only. So he used to get many decisions at that point even. But he was very keen about the things whichever are going
We
inside
are
around him.
fortunate enough to learn.
Yes. Very fortunate. He used to suggest us very wherever we used to stuck. Even Badigar sir was always there. Even if we will be, usually our working culture was like during working hours, we used to get our formal work done, getting the chemicals, getting the gas, getting all those stuff. We used to collect the resources, and actual research will be at the night. After dinner, we will be starting our
okay.
work
So work used to start at the night.
at the night only.
So
And
Mashikal sir, Badigar sir,
all were
used to stay at the night
fellas like having dinner and coming back to lab, and then observing the things, how the things are going on.
with
So
professional attire or casual attire.
casual attire, very casual attire. We used to go like that only. So being formal is nowadays it is a part of our life. Otherwise, we used to be casual at that time very much, except few events. Otherwise, we were used to be like.
Any experience that you had with Badiga sir and Mashikal sir that you like to tell us that changed your thought process or something?
Okay. So it was happening every day to us that
Every
it
time.
was like
Any
no
specific,
more.
any
Uh,
specific?
I think it was first week of our being at NCL only. So Badiger sir used to drive a car, and we used to have our cycles. And if you would have seen the NCL's premises, it is like in is out. Both paths are different, so you can go in from one side and go out
Okay.
from one side, and it is a far away, like two paths in between. The garden will be there always. So you can say that Badiger sir used to say, like, "Hello Bhagyashri, how are you?" from that side.
Oh.
So we were so happy. He's recognizing us, and he's giving such greetings from that side. So it is like we were very amazed to have such kind of
Okay.
people around us, that they were very concerned about us. They were very even I can discuss the family problems with him, those kind of
So just like a family
situations.
member.
Bilkul. It is like for whole 7 years he used to be our mentor. It is our family only, that we can discuss anything. We used to our parents are coming, meeting him regularly, talking with them. My guide used to talk with Saurabh and all, because meanwhile I got married, so it was extended family for them that my family
Okay,
is
okay,
there.
okay.
So yeah, it was altogether different culture, and they taught us how to be grounded, even if having so much of glory behind them, they just keep it away. Just
Down to earth
whenever I used to meet Mashelkar sir, you will never feel that this is a Padma Shri person. So you can see that I don't know what makes him so humble, or what he used to eat. So but it was quite mind blowing experience all the time, that
always
he
coin
was
makes noise.
yes, and currencies are always.
Okay, so now you are in connection with your guide. How the PhD work started means what were the objective of the work, and
So
so we can have a chapter wise discussion.
yeah, sure. So it was like usually we start with the reported work to recreate it in our lab as it is, as much as possible, to get those reported results as it is. So was the starting.
Is it
My
a
guide.
strategy that you used to play, like
Yes,
making a
yes.
replica of what they
Ha
have done,
ha ha.
so that
So
you
that
would get
is like,
clues out of it?
exactly. You get to know the system first of all,
Okay, okay.
which one is reproducible
So you
system you
make
should be
a
there.
replica of a research paper.
Ha. Exactly same. Not only one, at
And
least
how do you
10.
decide that which paper?
Guide used to tell us. So we will
Okay,
be
that expertise is there.
usually what will happen is, we used to have Saturday meetings where we used to discuss about single paper, whichever procedure is there, whichever, whether it is possible at our place or not, whichever chemicals whichever are needed. Fortunately our lab were not having any funding issues. We used to have much of lot of money, you can say. So we used to order that, and that procedure has to go like that. So if we used to stuck somewhere in that, so we choose next paper to follow for. So for a week, for 5 days, we used to work on that. On next Saturday, next paper. So for that week, we will be using that. So whichever films we were used to generate. So electrospinning was the actual technique which I
First, give us an
used.
idea about your objectives and
Uh,
chapters.
okay, so I was working for the implant coating basically. So that coating
Please tell us
material.
what is exactly coating and what you did onto
Okay,
it.
so implant is any external
For
object you
example,
are putting in. So if you are cracking your bone,
okay.
you are breaking your bone,
Hmm.
you will be supported with the rod or a
Okay,
clip,
okay. So
or
rod is the implant.
so is the implant. So whichever foreign body you are incorporating inside your body is a implant.
Okay.
So that could be polymeric, that could be metallic, that could be any another, so gel like structures could be there. So scaffolds, usually what are there, three-dimensional structured
Okay.
things were there. Those were at the cutting edge at that time, and you can say most of them were polymeric.
At the cutting edge means?
uh, Very recent to work with.
Okay, okay.
So you can say those
So
scaffolds
everything
were.
happening was new.
So very recent papers we used to within 2 years, published within 2 years only is the limit, that we cannot work with
Any
the.
specific category or publication house your guide used to select?
No, not like that.
Just
So
reading a paper and then
yes.
selecting
So
based on the.
so earlier our paper were very basic. So you can even my first chapter is in bulk. So we were not shifted to nanotechnology at that time. We were starting with the film, okay, which is a bulk basically. So you can say that with the bulk you can have those properties can correlate to nanotechnology, nanomaterials at some additive effect or additive advantages. So we need to understand first the bulk, then the nano. So I started with the films as a coating material, that thin films. So I used to get that PHB blended with PEG, polyethylene glycol, with various
deposition method or solder method?
No, it is like just blending. So we used to blend it with the, so basically PHB-V or PHB was very hydrophobic. Tends it to
Please give us
rebel a
a
lot.
brief idea about what were your objectives in the thesis,
Mm-hmm.
and then correlate with the each chapter of your thesis.
So it is like, as I told you, implant. It's supposed to get incorporated in your body. It will have some reactions from your immune system. It could be rejecting the implant with in terms of, say,
resistance not be there.
must not be there. So your material
This is
should
the
be
first
friendly
first
to your
criteria.
so your immunology. So we need to bluff in that sense. So you can say that first criteria was the hydrophilicity.
Hydrophilic or hydrophobic?
So material was being hydrophobic. I need to make it hydrophilic so that it should be acceptable to body. So was the first criteria. The second criteria was the smoothness and roughness. Usually you can say that that is the making it different with the accumulation of proteins first of all, then the bacteria may come, or you can say that adhering surface should not be there. That's why it at a point you can say it should not be super smooth, it should
So
not be
right here
super
you're
rough.
creating
Adsorption should not be there, so that should
so
be
right now you're creating a covering over the implant.
yes.
So we are talking about covering.
Yes. Complete covering should be there, so that your immune system should identify that particular implant as a self only. So was the ultimate goal for that. So we were playing with those parameters where the surface smoothness was the thing, or you can say that surface hydrophilicity, hydrophobicity was the major issue. Then I was dealing with the incorporating drug inside, so that even if the bacteria adhere over there, it should get killed, because you can see that rejection due to infection is in particularly early 15 days, 20 days, or a month long lastingly. After that it is very less likely to have such kind of infections, because your body can cope up with that. So you can say that those early infections you should be avoiding with the incorporation of such kind of drugs in that. So I started first chapter with the films as a bulk, without loading drug. With loading the drug, I used to go to cell cultures on those surfaces, check the reactions, how they are going on, whether that cells are accepting. Fibrinogen was the you can say, sorry, fibroblast were the cells, and fibrinogen was the material which I used to check for the uh, properties to get developed from. So you can say those materials, MTT assay was the standard method to do that. Then you can say that I used to, so MTT assay actually I did it all together at the end with all the materials whichever I
Nice.
have developed. So you can say that films were the first. Then next second chapter was the nanofibers. So nanofibers was created using the technique called as electrospinning, where the instrument is having a syringe, literally medical syringe was there, and you will be having a collector plate, metallic collector plate over there, from which the polymer is injected slowly, and due to charge difference it is getting accumulated in the nanofiber form, which is non-woven in the type, is getting collected on the collector plate. So I used to peel it off and looking like film only, but at the level of scale you can see that it is a nanofiber non-woven mat, so was looking like a film only. So you can say that. So with that I used to incorporate the drugs as well, and so two different combinations of nanofibers, one with the higher strength, one with the higher compatibility I have tried with, and two different you can say objectives were achieved. And the last one was a little bit different. So I was trying to incorporate the protein inside it. Okay, so earlier reported nanofibers were like incorporated with the fibrous proteins, which one was quite easy for that matter. That blending is the major concern. Protein blending is because most of the fibrous proteins are hydrophobic only, so that is not a concern to get blended with the PHB. It used to get blending very easily. I tried with the globular protein, which is albumin protein. So I tried with the first of all egg albumin, then with the human serum albumin. So you can say that the idea, I mean, you can say pitching of my that particular important last chapter was human serum albumin may differ from person to person, although you can isolate it very easily from your own blood. Okay, then you can do the same thing, that if to avoid the rejection, you can have your blood albumin isolated, get it blend with the PHB, and prepare either you can coat it the implant depending on the size, usually dimensions, that how much is needed. So by then 3D printing is quite common, so I future prospect I have added the 3D printing with the same nanofibrous material. So you can say that I have added those albumin proteins, globular proteins, with the difficult task of blending that them with the hydrophobic PHB-V and getting the nanofibers out of it. So the cell studies were amazing. So you can say acceptability level was increased up to 80%. And of course, it was again the same thing, that the recent study was suggesting that this kind of work should be getting into 3D printing. So I was supposed to do the 3D printing, and again the patent was filed from my side as well. So you can say, although I don't have any publications right now in my hand, but you can say the technology at that time also was very advanced in that sense. I got
Okay,
many.
let's start with your first chapter.
Okay, so it was films, basically blending of
First, tell me, the methods that you have right now mentioned are all available in the market, or
yes,
this is
yes.
a new kind of thing you are doing?
Electrospinning is rare, I can say. Still, it is not
Binding
like
with antibiotics, then somewhere bluffing with immune
immune
system, like
system. No, no, it
providing
is not new.
albumin. It is not new.
No, no, it
So
is
just
not
tell
new
me one thing.
in.
Implant rejection, it is because you mentioned about hydrophobicity.
Yes, yes,
So immune system specifically targets the hydrophobic compounds,
yes. They do. That
and
too
why is
with
it
the.
so?
So it is basically self non-self recognition is based on that. So basically, your own body produces very limited amount of hydrophobic materials. Okay, so that too is like for external protection most of the time. So you can say the cuticles or hair follicles or those sort of hydrophobic materials are synthesized inside your cell or inside your system. Very less hydrophobic materials are available. Otherwise, it is near to zero, you can say. So hydrophobic material our immune system is not used to.
So how it reacts, means how immune system reacts to hydrophobic compounds.
So basically,
It produces something.
so it is depending on the dimension again, what sort of stent or suture would be there, body usually repels to that. Okay, so there are certain enzymes which are working
Throws
on
away
throws away or compartmentalizes. That's it.
at
So
corner.
corner, you just make a
No
capsule around
reaction.
it. So you
Is
don't
there any kind
allow
of
that.
swelling reaction or something like that
Inflammation could be there,
if
more or
bacterial
less.
infection occurs?
So at that time, that is the complete
Otherwise, it will stay
reaction.
at there
So
without any reaction.
without any reaction
But
means
body will not get
body
it,
will not respond to it
accept it.
at all. So many of the
Because
times
I'm
that those
thinking in a
sort of.
way, nanoplastic is in our body right now.
Yes.
Okay, but our immune system is not reacting with them.
Yeah, because of the
Size.
size. So that is the major reason where the higher sizes are
Body is not
usually
taking
will
any
not be
action against it.
will not be. So basically you can say that if acid is working on it, it is easy for you to blend it with the lysosomes. It will digest it off, right? So you can say those debris will be thrown off. Eventually it will be get cleared through kidney, supposed to be. So you
After
can
a
say that
long time.
even for microplastics, you can see that it is a burden on kidney at the end.
Yes.
Right, so you can say that so is not the issue. Otherwise we could have handled it in a different way, where the
Okay, until and unless there is no bacterial infection, immune system won't react.
ha in that sense, where it is, so you can say that hydrophobicity usually leads to capsulization. So capsule is made
Capsulization. Okay,
around
okay,
it,
okay.
and many
So
are
it is
rejections
layer
like,
kind of layer
yes,
around it.
yes, fibrinogenic
Okay,
layer will
okay.
be formed over there, just like our wound healing happens like that. So in that sense, those same materials will occur over there, and it will anyway there will be cuts and bleeds, right? So
Yeah.
you can say that capsule making is initiated over there itself, and that's why your that part will not be functional anymore inside your body.
Okay.
So
Let's go to your first material that you
so
synthesized.
I need to balance it in such a way that, because I cannot avoid the PHB-V, which is giving me the strength, which is
PHB-V, it
difference.
is provided by guide,
Huh. So it is not provided exactly by the guide.
selected by guide,
We were
mutual connection,
discussing many
mutual
polymers
discussion.
in that sense.
Why you go for PhD?
That is because it is a bacterial polymer. Basically, it is collected from the bacteria. Bacteria used to store it inside their systems as a carbon source
Usually stores are under stress conditions.
under stress condition. Whenever nitrogen or phosphorus stress will be there, they
Stress
will
means less amount.
less amount. So they used to store the carbon source in the form of PHB
Okay, for the future use.
for the future use. Whenever the adversity will go
In
down,
the form of what?
granules.
Granules. Okay.
So isolation will be like in the same
Granules
things.
surrounded by layer something.
Proteins
Generally, granules are
complexes.
surrounded by a layer.
Protein complexes. So the exact idea I was thinking of when I blended it with the globular
Generally, there is a
proteins.
lipid layer. Every inclusion in bacterial cell
No,
has a
no,
lipid
not
layer.
lipid layer. Exactly the
Lipoprotein layer.
proteins. The proteins will be there because
Lipoprotein layer.
polymers are themselves are alkaloids, right? So those
Yeah,
are so will be having that phenomena of repelling the things. So you need not to have the fats.
correct. They are having surrounded by a lipid single layer
Huh?
because it has to be repel
Isolated,
because it has not be used in the
used
normal
in the
process.
it should not be in the
Uh,
metabolism
in the
basically.
end,
Huh.
through lipoproteins or
Yes,
something,
yes.
some amount will be released and will be utilized. That
So
kind of.
that exactly. So it should be regulated.
Yes,
For that, proteins are used, which
yes.
are
Selectively, correct.
signaling the granule to get grow or to be
Yes.
utilized further, right? So for PHB, usually it is a complex with proteins which are regulatory in the nature, where you can get the signals of utilizing it or accumulating more and more on that.
So that is the main reason.
Huh. So was the thing that it should not be like putting any
And why
burden.
bacteria source? Why not plants, animals?
We were thinking of that as well, but as you see the trend again going on in the research field, usually directs you like whichever things are booming somewhere in the research, you should not go behind that.
Okay.
Okay, so cellulose, CMC materials were quite obvious at that particular time. Many of the polymers, epoxy polymers, you must have heard of.
They are
Those
synthetic.
epoxy, synthetic polymers reinforced with the these kind of plant-based polymers usually was the trend at that time. We were leaving that behind and shifting to the bacterial polymers was new avenue which we were introducing in the research field, right? So you were
Is there any concern regarding biological molecule? Again, having a biological molecule may have less rejection.
yeah, that is the thing that for plant based polymers as well. So is the same thing, because at the end you will be having such kind of enzymes probably which will work for them to get degrade eventually, right? So we were okay, so that one was the, as I told you, scaffold system.
Because again, strong polymers are there, like chitin is there,
So
cellulose is there.
so you can have those beta bonds in them,
Uh,
structural bonds which
so
are
how
unbreakable at a
how it
point.
is different from bacterial inclusions or
So
bacterial PHB?
bacterial, so those are simple esters linked together. So
Bacterial.
yes, yes. So esterases, whichever you have, can digest it very easily. But unless and until
Bacteria
they
good
are
in
in
the
a
mass
polymer,
production.
yes, yes, yes.
Esters, we have to hydrolyze it, no?
So that is with the help of esterases. Those enzymes are available with us that we can cope up with. So you can say that butyric
And how
acid
long
is
that
not
polymer
much
is?
new. That depends again. So thing is like erosion
Bacteria wise
is,
differentiates.
ha, ha, ha.
Which
And
bacteria
even
you chose to be a source material for this?
they claimed, the company whichever we procured from, they
Okay.
claimed it from the E. coli, which one was genetically modified and were said to be producing 80% of their dry weight and all.
And what type
But
of stress condition you provided to it?
maybe they were like most of the time it is like phosphorus stress.
Okay, so
So
in medium there was a stress condition.
phosphorus stress, so abundantly provided first of all, then deprived to be
And how you
providing
used to get
carbon.
it?
Simple methods
Cell
of
lysis?
cell lysis, then isolation with the centrifugation, treatment with the ethanol, multiple washings.
These all procedures are manual or kit based?
Oh, no, no, I didn't isolated it. So
You
it was
directly, okay,
procured
okay.
altogether.
So
So
PHB-V
were
pure form
ready-made.
was there.
I just
Okay.
blended it with the different type of hydrophilic polymers in
What is
that
blending
sense.
procedure?
Just to dissolve it in the same solvent, like solvents.
Solvent, for example,
So I used chlorinated solvents most of the
why
time. So
chlorinated?
PHB is soluble in chlorinated
So
solvents only.
chlorines are provided to make it stable in a stabilized form.
Yes, yes. So they are like not exactly like that, but polymer chains will always will be in a entangled form.
Yes.
You need to non-ionic solvents to resolve it one by one. So basically, it
Non-ionic.
is not dissolution; it is suspension. Polymers
Yeah.
get suspended.
Segregation kind of thing.
So they get suspended.
Yes.
Those are non-Newtonian fluids basically, which will be equal to, okay, paste,
Why
our
you mention about
toothpaste,
non-Newtonian fluids?
because polymer are, all of them are non-Newtonian fluids.
Okay, and
Their
means
properties are altogether different than the solutions which usually we do for the small
okay.
molecules. So polymeric
So when
molecules
it dissolves in
usually
the chlorinated water,
uh,
how the solution becomes?
so no, it is chlorinated solvents like chloroform.
Chlorinated solvents.
So
Okay.
chloroform, so DCIM I used for the along with the proteins whenever I used it.
DCM,
That is like chlorinated solvents, polarity wise those are non-polar,
Okay.
non-polar in nature. So they help polymer to get resolved. So it takes time basically.
Resolve.
So those chains are entangled,
Okay, okay,
will
okay.
get
Separation.
separated and get suspended in the solution.
Okay.
So we are not expecting small molecules to exist over there. So degradation is not exactly. So it is said to be dissolved, just a conventional word, but it is not dissolving basically.
Yeah.
So polymers, all of them are working like that only. That they usually don't dissolve; they get resolved. So their chains get resolved and get suspended in the solvent,
Mm-hmm.
because the solvent is according to their likeliness. So
like
in water,
Dissolvex.
like Dissolvex. So you can say that PHB was liking chloroform. So I used chloroform, which used to get evaporated. So I used to wash it thoroughly afterwards, and then get to use for us, like for further studies. I used to use that washed, rinsed polymers, so that I can avoid the complete chloroform
Okay. So
formation.
after that,
So I used to blend it with the different hydrophilic polymers. So to cross link PEG. So I used to get PEG,
PG again is it is synthetic.
synthetic only, yes, yes. So very lesser concentration, in lesser concentration
PG for what?
for hydrophilicity.
Okay.
So that is hydrophilic, and so chloroform is able to dissolve both of it. So I need to balance the solvent so that hydrophilic and hydrophobic, both the polymers should get dissolved in. So that one was the critical job. I tried many of the solvents and then come up with the chloroform first, then the DCM, then the
What did he say?
uh, so dichloromethane is again chlorinated solvent.
What it does?
So it is similar to chloroform, but its boiling point is quite higher than the chloroform. So chloroform, you must be knowing, it is volatile, it
Why boiling point is
evaporates.
important here?
Whenever I used to make the solutions, it will take time to dissolve, right?
Okay.
Uh, I have seen that higher concentrations were not possible, just
Why?
because before it dissolves, chloroform evaporates.
Okay.
Okay, so it is just a technical problem that chloroform I was
Okay.
facing
Okay.
with that. For proteins, it take even much more time.
DCM is having environmental issues.
Yeah, and that, so what I used to do is PHB. I used to make a different
So
concentration with the
chloroform has a
chloroform and DCM. So DCM, I used to make a solution of proteins. those were luckily miscible with each other. So in different concentrations I used to make blends. So again revolving in that sense, then electrospinning it, then removing the solvent afterwards. So you can say that that one was the Dravidi pranayam for me for all the time, that you have to
Oh,
make the
what is
Dravidi pranayam.
what is that?
If you are not eating like this and like this,
Okay,
it is
okay,
a Dravidi pranayam.
okay.
So electrospinning is also taking much of time. It was generating heat. Chloroform was in that sense was difficult to
Yes, because chloroform great evaporative.
so it was a problem for me to run for a longer period of time. So I used to use those multiple syringes at a time so that I can finish it off within 4 to 5 hours. Otherwise, after that, it gets solidified inside the syringe itself. So that one was the problem I could.
So how you overcome that?
So as I told you, I used to use multiple syringes at a time. So I got one attachment. Again, the same thing, fabricated by my own some friends, some relations there, to get that that structure where I can incorporate multiple syringes at a time. I was provided basically with the electrospinning with a single syringe, and that adaptation I made
Solvent purpose.
for solvent purpose. Otherwise, in unless and until I will get the bulk amount of those kind of non-woven nanofibers, rest of my characterizations I could not do that. Okay, so with the films as a bulk, if you will see that there will be, so I struggled a lot to have such
Bulk
kind
means
of things.
piece of paper.
Kind of. So you need to have a plastic sheet. Okay, exactly like a plastic sheet which is blended. So you can say not only single polymer, what usually we look like a polymer sheets, whichever are we are using in day to day life. That is a single polymer basically. I am talking about the blends where the two different polymers are getting together and they should form a uniform layer.
Now you
Where
say here
so
it is a biopolymer. So
yes,
how can
yes.
you relate with that? Because again you are adding a synthetic fibers into it.
So the
Synthetic polymers
concentration
into
will
it.
matter over there, and what I talked is usually it is up to the cytotoxicity what we are concerned with. PEG is having minimum of cytotoxicity as its own. So you
Okay.
can say it is synthetic, no doubt, but it is you can say humanized or friendly to the
Okay.
immunological systems. Cytotoxicity repercussions are much lesser in the context where the PEG is said, but being hydrophilic in nature, intact PEGs, you can say films are not possible because your dynamics inside the cell will flow it off. Right, so it will get dissolved so early that completely hydrophilic polymeric structures you cannot incorporate inside your body because your dynamics will wash it off, and it will not retain for a longer period of time.
So the structure is not remain.
Exactly. So that blend is important to retain that structure for a longer duration, right? So if you want to heal your bone, that healing should be promoted as long as the joining is there. So that strength should be there in the implant itself to support the bone structure.
What is the exact ratio?
Yeah, there could be different in different parts of, so even bones will have different densities, so you can say tune in, customize it. So that is dependent on the, you can say, future applications where you are supposed to check whether which sort of bone is broken or where you are going to implant that particular implant. So you can tune around with the with that. So we can play with the multiple options, and we can, for example, say 80% of PHB and 20% of PEG, 90% of PHB and 10% of PHB-V, PEG. So that sort of percentage change is needed because all bones are not of similar density.
So
Every time you have to check with, so or you can say portfolio should be made. If the thigh bone is broken, what sort of combination should work? Say your teeth can be replaced in future aspects, some implants are there right now what we are using. So rejection rate is quite less in teeth implants, but you can say that the density is quite different.
depends upon density, we have to decide ratio.
We can decide the ratio. So you can blend accordingly, whichever part. So not only hydrophilicity and hydrophobicity, density wise also those are quite different polymers. So total weight count may differ in that sense, right? So you can say,
Suppose I want to replace my thigh.
So you need a strongest one.
Strongest.
Yeah. So the density wise, PHB-V is better in the sense than the PEG. So in the softer bones, like in the, you can say fingers, you can have the softer ones where the PEG concentration may increase, right? So you can say that. So that particular study is very difficult, or you can say not under my portfolio at that time, because we were not dealing in the checking the densities and matching it, right? So we were like, first of all, to minimize the interference of the immune system is the target. So you can say that in that sense you can I have tried with the multiple compositions, many of them were working.
Animal study.
No, that one was a future aspect, because it is usually like it takes ethically many permissions, and that too is NCL is very particular about it, that they in particularly ethically they allow us or don't allow us depending on the nature of your research. So it will take a lot of time. So you can say that maybe my descendant could have done that part of it and could have gone up in that sense, but we were having our
Okay,
different
so what you did
research.
after electrospinning?
So in electrospinning basically, so as I told you, film were having many of the disadvantages, that the surface smoothness was the major issue for that, that it was not, that one was not compatible. It needed to be more porous, in the sense that the dynamics works like that, right? Your exchange has to be
Why you wanted
occurring
porous
over
structure?
so not a single part of your body is completely non-porous. That
Okay,
dynamics should work, that
so you want to make and
metabolism.
somewhere 50% identical structure to the.
So as much as possible, right? So you have to give the strength, because natural systems are at the same time they are having strength, at the same time they are very flexible. So that sort of material is very difficult to prepare on the human basis, but you can try to mimic somehow, to some extent. You can say those kind of density.
So golden mean.
Exactly. So you must have seen the structure of bones, right? There will be cells inside and the accumulation of calcitrated materials outside. So that kind of structure, cells themselves are very soft, but that material makes it so strong that even if you are jumping, you can feel that difference, right? You are still are very flexible. If you would have very rigid in that sense, your bones could have shattered at that particular impact, right? But it is not happening like that, because the cells are incorporated in between, which are softer in nature, which are giving you the flexibility which is needed, right? So your skeletal material is exactly like that, where the strength and the flexibility go hand in hand. So that is very rare combination
Okay, what
to
were the
achieve.
characteristics of your polymer? Like crystallinity, it was there, flexibility.
Too much. I mean, PHBV is supposed to be very crystalline in nature,
Then how you managed to make it flexible?
with the help of blending. So with the help of such kind of PEG are relatively smaller molecules with a smaller molecular weights. So range is available although, but you can say that smaller molecular weight helps you to detangle that chains into a speciation will happen over there. That spacing is needed for you to keep that flexibility alive, right? So those interfering PEG chains will make that spaces and keeps that material little flexible in that sense. So you can say that pure PHBV film, if you will handle it, it will be very brittle in nature. Okay, as you
Okay.
Just like glass.
So if you can keep on increasing the PEG content, the flexibility will get incorporated inside the PHB
So as you
materials.
increase the concentration of
PEG in that increases.
but what about strength?
Strength decreases.
Strength decrease.
So that is that's why you need to balance it out, right? So you can say again the same thing, like they are blending perfectly. So actually that one should not be a problem for me, but it was creating a problem because the porosity was less. So as much as porosity is there, with the strength, with the flexibility, I could have taken as a bulk only, otherwise it was not
Ideal material.
exactly. But this one was not possible because it is a bulk, right? So you can say that there were many few pores inside. Usually you can say PEG, with the help of PEG, usually it keeps on increasing, but strength goes on decreasing. So that is not a you can say that option to go for. Electrospinning, as I told you, nanofibrous materials, non-woven, so is giving you the At a point, imperfection is a perfection. Okay, so non-woven being not so patterned, it is having a random patterns. It's you can say that porosity is usually helpful for you for the better acceptance. Okay, so that is, you can say, many papers are there to support that
Porosity in
systems.
non-woven structure, it is because of the arrangement of fibers.
Random arrangement of fibers which are getting collected on the collector plate. So woving is not an option for electrospinning because we are not creating the threads and winding it up in the spools and again the weaving it again.
But making a
We are
woven structure in a dimension may help.
so that is difficult for non nanofibers. So nanofibers are not like, you know, simple fibers which we can round around a spool and get into the thread or spin mill or, you know, handloom or looms in short. But those are nano in structure. So
Is it
they
is
appear,
it not possible, or
up till now it is not possible. Nobody has tried even, or you can say it is impossible in the sense where you cannot collect it as you want in a single thread. It is a very random process. It is charge dependent, so it just pulls it up from the syringe and it just attracts it towards the collector plate and get accumulated
because of polarity.
because of polarity. So that incorporation is also important for you. So you can say that that collection on the collector plate, you cannot differentiate in between that it
how
is a
does it
non,
look?
it is just like a film.
Film having
Only in
non-woven
SEM,
structure.
in SEM you will get those kind of you know, threads like structure like a
Okay.
Maggie, all random material will be there.
Maggi or noodle.
Exactly. So it is like those random fibers will be there. So that, with the help of experience only, you have to find the
Is it flexible or it has a
ha,
brittleness?
exactly like film. So you can think of a plastic
You can
paper.
bend it.
You can bend it, you can shape it as much as you can, and it is like unfortunately I just missed that samples, otherwise it
Like
was
a
there
rubber
with my
or somewhere like a rubber.
no, not like a rubber. I would say no, polymers only. Just
Oh,
plastic bags you can think of, like that much of flexibility is there.
okay.
So not much more in that sense.
Further, what you did?
So with that nanofiber sheets, basically they appear to be like films only. So I did the similar kind of characterization as that of films in that sense, but you can say the results were more enhanced. Like drug release studies were giving me good results. MTT assay was giving me good results. With the help of that, you can say the exposure of PG was much more appreciable in less concentration
Have you
itself.
checked the toxicity of PEG?
Yes, for PG it was like well known. In polymer section
And
it is like
along with polymer, is there any toxicity?
no,
Along with polymer, there wasn't any
there wasn't
toxicity.
any toxicity as such. So
So
you
there
can
was
say
a
that
less concentration of PEG.
just because the difference is you can say that cells won't be able to adhere very easily.
Okay.
It is,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
is simple like that. So you can say that it is not very much appreciable for cells to adhere on that
Okay.
unless and until they are like forced to do that, right?
Which
So you can say
antibiotic you embedded into it?
so it was metronidazole. It was a
Any
broad range
specific reason
antibiotic.
using that antibiotic?
Hydrophobicity, that index matched with the PHB-V. So I tried with many, or you can say I searched with the many, and metronidazole was a broad range first of all,
Yes.
and you can say that hydrophilicity of obesity was matching to the PHB basically, not a PEG,
So it was a
but
good
is
combination to work.
combination to blend with and to not to change
Does it
the.
has any correlation with the release study, drug release study?
Yes, it is. So
How?
you can say that how long you are keeping it. So in nanofibers, usually you can say for the sustained release for a longer duration, it should match with the density or hydrophobicity of
Even
PHBV
the
in that
scaffolding
sense.
material and their size.
Whether it affect any pH.
Ideally, yes. Okay, but as I told you that I need to check it in the dynamics. I usually used to change the buffers. So I used to it in the buffers. That's why it was not changing. Otherwise, whenever I used to have the distilled water in a place of buffers, it used to change slightly, but yes, it is. And I suppose that inside the body, it may change drastically even. That is because the enzymes are available, esterases are available, that is giving you the butyric acid basically, that is acidic in nature, right? So you can say that it should change, but not as drastically as it should harm your system.
Have you studied the rate of degradation?
Yes, I did.
How much it
So it
was?
was like for films, it was longer for that sense, but
For how
in
much days?
nanofibers,
How many days?
so I studied for 15 days, frankly speaking.
15 days
Uh,
implant was active inside the body.
Not exactly the implant. So again, the same thing is, it is dependent on dimension. Okay, so I was using
And
the
where
film.
you perform all the study is at the rat
No, for degradation, it was in vitro.
in vitro
So
with
in vivo, it is
cells,
not possible for
cell
me.
lines.
No, cell lines, or you can say for degradation purpose, you can think of a system, buffer systems even.
Buffer system, okay.
So longer than that, I could not do that. But yes, you can say that films were more sturdy than the nanofibers. Nanofibers used to get degrade more faster than that,
Okay.
as compared to same composition of filament. You can say nanofibers. Otherwise, if the composition is changing, same sort of results could be attained by the nanofibers with the higher concentration of PHB-V. So that one was the interesting factor. You can say that the strength could be higher with the PHBV. If we consider that equation, you can say that nanofiber strength is higher. Okay, so you can say I did the mechanical studies as well, so it supports the same system, so same logic was going on with the same thing. So you can say that higher incorporation of PHBV was possible because PEG was more exposed due to nano structures in that.
So you can increase the concentration
Of PHBV in that sense. So you can say those comparative studies, if I could do that, so you can say more strength will be given by the scaffolds which were generated by uh, using those nanofibers. So 3D structures, I was thinking of doing the same thing in the, so because at the end of my PhD, there was a 3D printer we got in our nearby lab.
Okay.
So I was thinking of doing same. Unfortunately, COVID came and those things
Okay.
got spoiled. Anyway, so still I can think of that in future.
You have to continue your research.
I'm very much interested in, so I can even have one electrospinning unit at my lab even, because nowadays it is getting at a cheaper rate.
How much it cost?
So it will start from say 25,000, a smaller unit. It will take time, you see. So, but still, larger unit with the all regulated knobs and all, that may go up to 50 lakhs. So that much of variation is available for electrospinning units, where safety concerns are there because high voltage is getting inserted. But now I'm used to it. I can use the layman's version even with the that much of precautions or safety issues uh, in
Then further,
at the
what you did?
places. So with that, I tried with the combinations. So my guide
Combinations
instructed
of what?
compositions, percentages changing with
Okay,
the
optimization.
PHB, PEG, and all those compositions.
What was the
And
best
so,
composition?
for me, it was working 70-30 for the films, 80-20 for the nanofibers. So that one was the good going concentrations. So
70
that
30 means 70 PHB
PHB and
and
30
30 is the PEG.
PG. So that one was also like so that effect, you can say additive effect, was there with the nanostructures was supporting. And the again the same thing, that incorporation of drug and its release studies were also deviated from the film to nanofibers by you can say films were okay for sustained release,
Okay.
but in nanofibers it used to get released at a bulk.
At a bulk
Okay,
means
so
what?
means initial burst release was
Is it
there.
because of non-moving structure?
No, it is because of nanostructure basically. Because exposure is higher, you can get into system very easily, right? So you will not have a hidden portion much larger as if in films, where the films used to get swell and then drug is getting released. Nano level problem is the same, right? So that one was quite expected for me. But being a metronidazole, I think it was sustained for whatever expected time period. So I did the release studies for 72 hours. So 72 hours, it was giving the minimum inhibitory concentration for me. So was fine working, fine for me, I think. But
Okay.
it was, this one was, you can say, faster than the films.
Further?
Then okay, so third component get entered in the last chapter where albumin was playing
This is
very.
last chapter.
Yes. So in last chapter, as I told you, that my concern was to making it humanize, to customize it, to making as per your requirement, exactly as per your requirement, right? So you can say that usually what will happen is, even if it is albumin, even if it is a human albumin, it may change some of the part, or you can say antigenicity at particular epitope, and you can still get the reaction for that. So you will be able to okay, so at that point, I think synthetic proteins were discovered. Okay, so you can prepare your own protein was the concept. So you can say our at our lab, I mean at NCL, we were having a small unit of synthetic protein preparing unit. Okay, so small
Okay.
proteins you used to incorporate as per your requirement of amino acid, as per your sequence of amino acids. That one was up to 20 amino acids, I think. So I was thinking of, say, if you are able to derive the sequence of your protein exactly, the amino acid sequence, by that time the technology will get advanced up to the level where albumins can be synthesized, right? So if you
Have
have
you
your
synthesized
sequence,
albumin?
no,
No.
that could be a dream then. Okay, so
But you had machine, no?
so it is up to 20 amino acids.
Up to 20. Okay.
So it is a small protein or small
Small
chain.
fragment.
So we were
But
thinking of, okay,
was
fine.
it successful to synthesize 20 amino acid sequence?
Yes, it was.
How much
So it was
it
commercially
is?
available at that time. So
How
you
much
can say
success rate was there?
that I have no idea, I think. But a friend who was working on it, she was quite happy with that. So she was getting the expected results at by that time.
And the
So we were.
protein which is been synthesized through that information had a biological activity?
No, I don't think, because 20 amino acids long, which protein is that much having activity?
No, but according to me, if greater than 50 amino acids are there,
Huh.
then it is a protein. No, 20 less than 50 it is a peptide only.
What I was thinking is, so it is a primary invention. Will be amplifying it in further in future, where you can have the,
No,
earlier
I'm
even
having a
genetic
thought process
engineering
like,
was.
for example, protein synthesis when we think about from DNA to RNA,
Huh, huh, huh,
then ribosomes are involved
huh,
into it.
huh, huh.
mRNA, tRNA,
Hmm,
RNA interaction is there,
hmm,
and protein synthesis. Again,
hmm.
information is shared.
Yes.
The nucleotide sequence decides what that protein need to do in the cytoplasm or outside the
Huh, huh,
cytoplasm.
huh.
So this protein sequence which has been synthesized inside the instrument,
Hmm,
if it is as similar as cytoplasmic protein,
hmm.
does it has functionality as same as cytoplasmic protein, or
Okay, so I think if the soluble protein is there, there should be,
how?
because the folding or the environment is water itself.
Okay.
Will be exception for, say, transport proteins or membrane proteins, because the
See, generally
environment
proteins are
is.
considered in a way that they have certain message. For
Yes.
example, glycoproteins and all
Yeah.
other proteins which are synthesized. For example, enzymes, they are having certain kind of
Particular folding is important for
particular
them.
folding is important,
Important for them. So at that
and
point,
tag
if you can
process is
see
there.
that how they are forming, eventually they are getting folded in that sense.
Okay.
So you
Is it
can say,
possible in that machine?
so at 20 amino acids, it's
Okay.
difficult to
Okay,
tell.
that's fine.
20 means actually it is a peptide, no?
So it is actually very small thing. So you can say, but you can imagine the level of innovations
Yeah.
where you have initiated the formation of protein.
No doubt about that.
So that one was, you can say that,
Okay, okay.
all new concept for me to think of, or you can say to lure at, or
What's your
you
thought
can
on
say.
this?
So yeah, I think it is possible in the future, maybe, that you can prepare your own proteins and you can deal with that if some proteins are malfunctioning. So you can have the, most of the time you can see that functional and non-functional proteins ratio is what getting to the threshold where the disorders are getting in. Okay, so for that matter, you can think
In
of
case of
incorporating,
deficiencies, that instrument can be can play a
can play
vital role.
vital role.
Like for
Right, right.
example, if there is missing of some sequence,
Huh?
addition of that particular sequence
Sequence
may
may
enhance that
work for you,
enzyme
and
may work in that body.
and there are again the same thing, the many dimensions could be there. You
Yes,
are right now, whichever diseases you are thinking of are having
even
no
may.
solutions,
Okay,
may get solutions by then, right? So you can have such kind of proteins which are working for
it's good
you
for
for
preparing bioactive peptides.
You're talking about protein sequencing.
sequencing sequenced protein synthesis. So it is could be the next step for the after sequencing, what you will
It's
do with that
crazy.
sequence, right?
It's crazy.
So that one was the new concept at that time, so we were thinking of or discussing on
Already
this.
you have seen that instrument, so it's a big thing.
And yeah, that is what I mean. After post dinner discussions were used to be like that only, right?
We
Yeah,
have that
but so
instrument. Oh,
and what future we can imagine,
Yes.
right? So you can something which were in imagination at the time of our schools,
Okay.
we are now working on. Then you can imagine the next thing of it,
Next.
right? So you can think of a
So after
preparation of
10
a
years or whatever.
long albumin proteins getting folded into proper way, or mechanized eating in proper folding, and that version can be possible, right?
okay.
So driving it to the imagination, to coming to the basics again, to incorporate that albumin protein inside the nanofibers. I tried with the films first of all, but it was total failure.
Why?
Okay, so because uh, the rate of evaporation, if you will see in the film, is quite low.
Evaporation of what?
Solvent. Okay, so you are blending two different solvents together and allowing it to evaporate. Okay, so at the bulk, usually it will take time of say, for evaporation, it will take time of say 8 hours to 10 hours, right? So you can usually I used to put it overnight, or at night I will used to pour it, and in the morning I'll.
This happens due to absorption.
No, no, no. So it is something like it is just phase separate.
Okay, feasible.
So in usually what happens is, as I told you, that in syringes I got that attachment where I used to put in the multiple syringes. What helped me in the incorporation of protein is, before the phase separate, I could get the nanofibers out of it.
Okay.
So that time was not compensated at the time of film formation. So that one was I can do in the nanofiber formation, because within no time, once the nanofiber is getting formed, the evaporation will be enhanced multiple folds, and you can get instantly the solid phase of it, right? So in syringe it is liquid. Whenever it is getting spinned off and collecting on the collector plate, by then itself is the solvent gone, right? So that phase separation, the polymers was not getting the time to phase separate. That's why I was able to get the blended films all together, and you can say that film it was not possible at all. So I just, otherwise I could have done the films as well and nanofibers as well with the blended proteins. That one was not possible. But nanofibers, yes, I did that with the blending, as I told you, that different solvent for proteins, different solvent for PHB-V, and in PHB-V, of course, the PEG was blended together.
For proteins, you are using the solvent.
DCM.
DCM.
And for this is chloroform, because in DCM toxicity is too high. For DCM, cytotoxicity is too high, and that's why chloroform comparatively less. So if it is getting evaporated, I don't want to incorporate itself. So in you cannot avoid the DCM to dissolve the proteins, because proteins globular proteins are usually dissolved in the polar solvents itself, max to max ethanol. Okay, and ethanol is not miscible with the chloroform, and PHB is not dissolved in ethanol. So you can say that I need to check many of the solvents. Luckily, I was having many of the solvents in the stock as well. So at night, I used to incorporate the polymers, this and that, and keep on rotating. And so you can say that many trials errors were there. Then I struggle with the nanofiber formation. My guide used to tell that minimum 100 films, minimum 100 electrospinning, minimum 100. You need to have those many
How many
trials
solvents you try to make permutation and combination?
So all alcohols, almost all alcohols. uh, uh, so
But prior you decide no, it is related to chlorine, no chlorine is solvent.
So that is what I mean. I need to
How
get first of
casually you
all.
said all alcohols.
Because no, in NCL having alcohol's range is not big deal, right? So you will have the whole rack full of alcohols only. So I used to get it, put it all. The main problem with the alcohol, I mean, I was trying the alcohol for the albumin to get dissolved in. So if albumin is getting dissolved, then I can try with the PHB-V to have in. But albumin itself is not getting dissolved, then it is shut open and shut case
What
for
was the
that.
end result then?
So DCM was working.
Again, it
So
is toxic.
DCM, it was toxic. So I need to minimize it.
Concentration
So,
minimize.
so I need to get into the dissolution of chloroform into PHBV in the chloroform. That bulk is there with the minimum of proteins incorporated in the DCM, that I need to blend it. Then I need to get it done with the. Better part is for the bulk, solvent evaporation was the problem. I need to keep it in the desiccator for a couple of days to evaporate the complete solvent in from that. But in nanofibers, it was not so. For 2 or 3 days only, you can get the nil for the solvent. It is getting.
What temperature you were setting?
Usually not much in the incubator. So you can say 37 degrees centigrade. So that incubator was there. I used to keep it over there itself. So it was getting evaporated very easily from the nanofibers. So in that sense also, nanofibers were best in that sense. But yes, both the advantages, disadvantages were coming together. That having nanostructure, drug release was the major concern for me. So before metronidazole, usual penicillin and all, I used to do that. But with the metronidazole, afterwards I got to know that hydrophobicity or functional groups compatibility may work like that. Then I came to know about the metronidazole. It took me 1 month to order those kind of all the pure forms of antibiotics, and then incorporate and check with the that I did with the
Pure
films
forms
itself.
means you haven't used the medical
No. Medicines are not.
medicines. Haven't
No,
used
no.
pure form
Only
from companies.
Spectra only I used to get
Okay.
it, and then those only we were
Is there
allowed
any
to use.
difference in
Those were not formulations; those were pure chemicals.
and the antibiotics which are available in the medical, they are different from the pure form?
So those are formulations in order to increase the bioavailability inside your body.
Okay.
So, for example, say if it is working in, stuff is
Acha,
there.
they made for the track
Yes,
to.
yes. To
Okay, okay.
bypass
I got it. I
either
got it.
or to maintain the weight.
They have different coverings
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
drug. Okay.
So that pure drug incorporation was there. So I used to end up with the metronidazole finally, and then you can say that with the films, I first of all I did with the same things. Then I incorporated in the nanofibers as well, and the results were quite good. I mean, in that sense, as I told you, in nanofibers, I was just looking for after 15 days, it should reach the MIC. It should at least kill the bacteria at its minimum level of concentration, then it's done. Otherwise, it was not possible. For other drugs, I have tried, like 3 drugs I have tried. None of them were crossing the MIC at the 15th day. So, was the difficult task for me, or you can say not much difficult. I have earlier prepared so many, to's and fro's, so it was quite easy job at the end that I was trained to do those kind of, for drug release studies, early 72 hours were very difficult for me, because after every 30 minutes, after 1 hour, after 2 hour, after 3 hour, I need to take those readings, and till 72 hours. Then I used to take it after 12 hours, then 24 hours. So up to 15 days, I used to, due to, you can say, issue of quantification. Okay, so that is something like, after initial phases, it drops down the concentration of release of drug, so minimum that you cannot check it on the spectrum.
Okay.
So spectrophotometrically, that minimum concentration should reach, so that you can detect the difference in that. Even for identification of that problem, I took some 1 month or 2 months of doing those experiments and discarding it. That's it. Then I come to know that, okay, after some so long of time, I could not take the 1 hour reading, because it is not detectable only. After some time, it will take time to release that much of amount in the buffer, so that I can identify the concentration at the end. So that one was, I did many of the experiments for that. And then the MTTSA. So I shifted to then the cell culture lab. Their resources were quite different. So I was in collaboration with another guide, not as an official collaboration. It was casual at that point. So you can say that at cell culture was new because at MSc level we were not exposed to cell culture. I learned altogether over there itself. So many of my friends helped me a lot to learn those things and to how to take readings, and of course many of first experiments were discarded as it is. But it was good. I mean, again the same thing, funding was not the problem. We were having ample of resources to use left and right, so that one was lavishness at our life.
Okay.
Then we felt like constrained when we came out
Luxurious
of
research
the
scholar.
then actually the life is easy in that sense in the research
So what is
organizations that
conclusion of your whole thesis in few
okay,
sentence?
so yes, nanofibers do better in that sense. We could develop the 3D printing out of that. If we can do that, that will be much of beneficial in that the 3D construction. Okay,
So
so
basically it works.
it works. It works. And if you can do in a larger dimensions with the nanofibers, that is having additive advantage. It could be like we were having tomography machine. Okay, so tomography is 3D XRD, something like that. So you can have the scanning in the 3D, three dimension, and you can generate the image as it is. So I used to have one sample on that because it was very recent at that time. I could do only one sample on that, and I tried to make it 3D because it was 2D. I mean, I used to prepare films, right? So it was 2D. So I used to make layers by layers manually and to stack it over there and cut it for particular dimension to get it into basically that vial. You must be knowing that epindrophs
Mm.
to fit in, and
Squares.
no, rounds. I
Okay.
mean the rods. Okay, to come out of that, then I used to give it into topography, where the results were very good. I have not reported anywhere just because I used to do it like that only. I mean, friends were there and he could do that scanning, so I was doing that. But the uh, results were very promising. Somebody should work on that, maybe. Okay. Maybe not
Topography
me.
is related to surface morphology.
No, it is surface morphology, but it is scanning type of morphology.
It
So
tells
you can
about
say,
roughness and all the edges, bridges.
porosity, how much, inside story.
Yeah.
So it just like TEM, but TEM will have the limitation of not creating the image as such.
Mm.
Okay, so this is recreating your image even if it is a bulk. So
Mm.
in TEM you are getting to the dimension of nano. If the bulk is there, what you will do, right? So you can say that if it is a bulk, you can see inside in the tomography and it is recreating that image. So that is excellent instrument in
So
that
likely
sense.
to be it is a good study area for future aspirants.
Yeah.
Is there anything while doing the research you wanted to do, but because of certain circumstances, you wouldn't be able to do it?
First of all, the animal studies. I thought of doing that very eagerly, but could
With
not
the
happen.
implant?
But it requires
With the implant.
ethical permissions.
Yeah, yeah. So much of ethical permissions. That too, it will take like 6 months for the permissions itself. Then you can study on
And
that.
it requires animal lab.
Animal lab. So that one was not availability, but you can say ICER was
But
having it.
animal
But
labs can be, private labs are also available.
no, in ICER it was there. No,
Mm.
so it is just a twin institute. So you can have that access very easily from the NCL. But unfortunately, we could not do that.
If you
Your experience over there.
Uh,
Okay. After completing your entire work.
huh. Uh, in NCL, we used to present it at our departmental level. So I was appreciated by many scientists. Basically, starting from my DACs. So in my committee itself, I was appreciated much. I have actually after that I could not work on my patent. Otherwise, it could have passed at that phase as well. But I think it is still a cutting edge. I mean, still many people have not recognized the potential of that particular system where the globular proteins are getting incorporated with the polymers. Any polymers is fine. But you can think of at least to blend that, that mixture should
So
work
blending
with
is
that.
important.
And electrospinning, I enjoyed a lot. That one was the new technique over there, and as I told you, that day and night I used to run on that, sit over there, observe those things, and that one was amazing. And that expertise many people wanted to utilize at that time. Even in the DRDO, I think they were about to take this electrospinning unit and was able to. So that machine was also with the Badiger sir, and I used to use it like that.
If you get any opportunity to make some changes in the research or PhD process, what it would be?
Uh,
Sorry, what it would be?
So I think the selection process should go much at the root level. Right now, what superficially we are collecting the intelligence is not the real reflection of all the students, what we call, because many of the rural part is untouched, but having much of intelligence embedded over there. So that sort of, again, you can say with the system like more public oriented project should run, or that is again the same thing, like policy should change.
So day-to-day challenges.
Yeah, there should
You have
be.
to work on day-to-day challenges.
Yes. And
For
even
that
I
reason
could
is
say,
specific.
coming after, coming out of NCL, I could recognize that whichever resources we were using, were we were using left and right because they were available in that sense. Otherwise, it was not
So you
needed.
want to increase the accessibility.
No, it is other way around. I think we should restrict the usage of those resources for everyone. At
Restrict.
research level, we were using it. Sometimes it is, most of the time, it is unnecessary. That is what
Okay.
I feel like. Otherwise, it is deprived for anybody else.
Yes.
Out of the institute to get the same done. You can imagine ACM needs to take around 20 days to get one sample done. Now when I'm sending the samples to NCL, it is taking 20 days, and in 20 minutes we used to do that there. That's why we used to, any blend, go to SAM, check this ACM. Of course it is needed.
Access is very important.
So you should be more of, saving those resources for others as well. That is the approach
Saving
what.
resources or increasing the accessibility to other people.
That is also possible, but again, environmentally, if you will think of
Because
that,
again, if you
that is.
if you are thinking about the restriction to something, it means that individually you have to pick that.
Huh.
You have to tell people. But
So
in case
you
if you
can
increase
say that
accessibility,
no, if it could be like you will be getting one slot per day.
it's
I
like
could
individual
have
responsibility.
minimized at my level itself to do the
Individual
samplings.
responsibility.
See, exactly. So
Okay.
that
Again, there is a certain issues are there.
yeah, so that may be regulated. You can say somebody should be there to assign those sort of.
Have you any concern regarding the retraction watch?
Mm, unlike I
Have you heard
don't.
about the retraction watch?
No.
That organization who rechecks the paper,
Okay.
and if there is something wrong in it, plagiarism or some kind of thing, they retract the paper
Okay.
from the official site.
Okay.
So have you had any concern regarding it?
No.
Okay.
So as I told, I barely published my data,
Yeah.
so it
Okay.
was
Okay. 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 Sorry. Sorry.
not my
Okay.
concern.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It was actually wherever I just helped out to my friends,
Yes.
they have kindly given me the authorship. That one was my publication. You see.
Okay. Okay. So you have worked with so many people. Uh, you have so much of exposure. What do you think about this AD scientific and top 2% categories coming out? Having a tag kind of system where scientists are categorized in a certain way. Do you think it is appropriate? Not, I'm not saying appropriate, but do you think it is necessary for researchers to have that kind of tags?
I think both the aspects are true. You can say that publication should not be the only criteria. Okay, so it should be like how useful you are for to the society. So that criteria you have to give with the many parameters, out of which one could be the publication. But
Like if they
encouragement
consider
should be there.
citation because of that it is having a societal impact because of it is receiving citation.
Exactly. So
That
it
thought
is
process.
that is again the same thing that, as I told you, that many postdoc people, what usually they do is their extended branch, they start with the Indian perspective. So that should not be the case. You should start with your own research whenever you are clear with your logics of research. It should be important for you people at the ground, which are at the ground, right, which are not privileged, which are not having those resources which you are having. So research should touch to those grounds, not exactly to the some hi-fi sci-fi things to come up. So you can, in that sense, you can say that many of the, how many publications are there who are actually addressing these kind of things? They are all of them, okay, 98% of them are hypothetical. And I don't think so, if you are considering that aspect of life or research, 2% even will not stand for actually research to be spent with that much of money. So you can say that aspect should be there with the publication. Of course, you have to have those kind of encouragements for the researchers who are taking efforts to do such kind of, day and night.
They are selecting the specific journals only.
So even in that sense, we can have
Generally, top
much of
2% it is through elsewhere. So elsewhere have Scopus, standard Stanford Universities and all.
That papers published on their journals means it is not true research. Rest of the
It is not like that.
journals also there. They publish the good papers.
so that
No, elsewhere
should
is
be
very
one aspect of it.
And the research,
elsewhere is a very big platform.
even though, but you cannot bind it.
So
Okay.
multiple criteria should get added it,
Okay.
and then you can, together you can reflect with that.
So thank you so much, Sonal sir, for coming here, and thank you so much, Bhagyashri ma'am. You have put so much on the table, and I have got so much information for you. So thank you so much bringing this much of information and having this conversation with us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for giving me such kind of platform, first of all, in my life. Thanks.